Age difference in a relationship. This is a fictional conversation between two people regarding the age difference in people's relationships.
Come on, what is this? Do they have some relationship going on together?
Yes, absolutely. How nice.
Nice. There's a huge age difference between them. He's way too old for her.
According to who?
According to everyone.
No, apparently not according to everyone, because the two of them didn't think so.
Okay, but the vast majority think it's really wrong, and one should not have that relationship.
And what is it that says that just because most people think something, that has to be correct?
What do you mean?
Who exactly has decided that it's wrong? Who thinks they have the power to say what's right or wrong regarding who you date? What exactly is it that says it would be wrong for two people with a big age difference to date?
Well, I don't know. It's just the way it is, sort of. That's how you're supposed to think.
Okay, so you haven't really taken the time to think and create your own opinion, but are just following and copying other people's opinions about the whole thing.
I mean, well, or I don't know.
You have just straight off accepted what society wants you to think and feel about the whole thing, without personally thinking deeper about whether society's opinion is actually correct or not.
Interesting. Explain more.
Do you think showing respect is an important factor in life?
Yes, absolutely.
And do you think free will is an important factor in life?
Yes, of course.
Okay, then why do you break this respect for other people to have their own free will to meet exactly who they want and feel is right for them?
You are putting me on the edge here. I have to think about this a little bit deeper.
Think about what exactly would be wrong with two people with a big age difference meeting.
Yeah, maybe I have been thinking a little bit shallow about it.
Both of these people in question have no problem with the age difference between them. Both are very interested in each other. So seen from a more mature perspective, is there actually something wrong with this attraction for each other?
Okay, I understand a little better now what you mean, and I have a hard time arguing against it. But with such a big age difference, isn't it impossible to have a functioning relationship, especially in the society we live in?
To begin with, it is not up to you, me, or anyone else to decide what is impossible or not. These are just speculations from us, and they should be kept to ourselves because we don't know their life plan, and we shouldn't interfere with it.
Yes, I can agree with that.
But yes, it's correct that the society we live in does not favor a permanent relationship between two people with a large age difference, because society is unfortunately still at a level that is very judgmental in its entirety. A relationship like this is absolutely not impossible, but it can be extra demanding.
Yep, it's actually completely correct, unfortunately, that it can be demanding in this society.
But with that said, what is it that says that people with a large age difference are looking for a long-term permanent relationship? Maybe they just find each other attractive but only want a short or a little longer physical relationship, or maybe just a friendship. Maybe it stops there or develops into something more long-term over time. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they just want to have fun and enjoy each other's company for a while.
Regardless of what kind of relationship two people choose to have, it is entirely up to those two people and their personal free will, which the rest of us should respect and accept without judging or interfering with.
I'm starting to see it all from a completely different perspective now.
Good. Instead of judging their relationship, we should instead be happy that they have met each other and seem to be happy in the kind of relationship they have.
Yes, exactly. Much of the judgment both I and others have had about the whole thing is probably based on pure habit, from the fact that most people around us throughout our lives choose to look down on the whole thing with a judgmental attitude and behavior. And so we choose to just go with the flow like everyone else without thinking for ourselves.
Yes, exactly. Thankfully, there are also some people who have taken the time to maturely step out of society's limited thinking and behavior, and have chosen to think for themselves see it all from a larger perspective, show acceptance, respect people's free will, and so on.
Yes, it is brave of them to pull themselves out of society's grip and dare to be themselves, think for themselves, and stand up for their personal opinions.
Yes, speaking of the word brave, it should definitely also be added that most men, and certainly also older men, actually look at and find attraction for younger women. And of course also lots of younger women who look at and find attraction for older men. But very, very few have the courage to mention it openly.
Yes, if we are to be true and honest, we all know that it is actually so.
Exactly. However, it is unfortunately so taboo to mention this, and people can get really irritated, uncomfortable, and aggressive when it is brought up because they are ashamed and would never admit this openly. This is because they are so terribly afraid of what this prejudiced and judgmental society we live in will think about them.
The thing is that this learned fear and uncomfortable feeling also came up in me now when we talk about it. Even though I, after our conversation here, see this whole subject from a larger and more open and broader perspective, there is unfortunately still a fear of other people's opinions and thoughts. But I will definitely practice the courage to stand up for what I personally think and feel, because I do not want to be among those who blindly submit to an indoctrinated society's behavior.
I am glad to hear that you want to change. And as we have discussed before, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a relationship between people with a large age difference.
Yes, exactly. But there has to be some kind of a line, right?
Yes, absolutely. You must, of course, be considered an adult, which, of course, is self-evident. And here in Sweden, that is at least 18 years old, when you are considered a grown-up and can do whatever you want.
Absolutely, it is 100% self-evident.
It is completely 100% up to these two people and their free will, and nothing that anyone else has to do with or should interfere with.
Yes, I agree. But young girls who only meet an older man for his money, what is your opinion on that?
It is their personal choice and nothing that we have to do with. And the age difference is also a factor that does not concern us. There is probably a lesson for both of them that they have to go through and learn from in that relationship.
Yes, there was no need for a more complicated answer than that to that question.
In any case, when it comes to relationships between people with a big age difference, it's not these two people who should be ashamed of their feelings, but rather the people who condemn the whole thing.
Yes, I agree. A judgmental expression often used is dirty old men.
Well, that's quite funny, because in that case, most men should be considered dirty old men, because as said before, most men look at and find attraction to younger women.
Yep, true, so true. But some so-called dirty old men can be so creepy and weird.
Yes, that is a possibility, but that has nothing to do with a person's age, but with that particular person's twisted and distorted personality.
Yes, it is wrong and unfair to judge all people based on some people's twisted behavior.
Correct. Judgmental behavior. However, it should also be said that we always are going to have people who will, for one reason or the other, never change their opinion, no matter what information presented to them. But that is okay because, as said before, everyone has the free will to think however they want. But their egoistic behavior in this case is not beneficial for either themselves or for the respect and acceptance of humanity's free will.
To respect everyone's free will of opinion and thinking, yes, quite important words there, which we all more or less unfortunately have so much difficulty with in different situations.
And with that, it's also time to add the obvious fact that all people are different and that we are not created in the same mold.
Oh, tell me more.
So we are all different individuals, both physically and mentally, and so on, seen both from a physical perspective and from a spiritual perspective. And regarding this particular topic of age difference, it is true that we all have different personal opinions and feelings about what we like and are attracted to.
Oh yes, I understand. True.
Some people may only like older people, and others may only be attracted to people their own age. Some may only fall for younger people, while some fall for the whole spectrum of different ages, and so on. But the fact remains, and that is that none of these options are wrong or more right than any other.
It is getting more and more clear for me. From now on, I will no longer judge anyone based on the age difference between them. On the contrary, I will be happy that they have met someone they are attracted to.
So if we go back to the beginning of our conversation and look at the two people you previously judged because they had a big age difference, what would you say now?
I would probably just smile to show that it is completely okay and that I am happy about their relationship.
Good. It's a more mature and thoughtful behavior than before. And I also think that the people with the big age difference would appreciate it all and feel more secure in their relationship.